Hello, everyone. Madeline from the Dribble team here. How is it going? Emmett's ready for this. Dan says whoop. Mike is asking if this is being recorded. The answer is yes. This event is being recorded and we will send it out afterwards, the recording. It's also being streamed to YouTube. So hello, everybody on YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Before we get started with this epic NFT workshop with Bueno and Pablo Stanley, I want to hear from you guys. Whereabouts are you guys joining from? Is it late where you are? Are you on the coffee or are you on something stronger? Lisa B, hey. I recognize Lisa B. I feel like you're a product design course student. Thank you for joining us here. I'm on the west coast of Canada at the moment, so I'm just starting my day. I've got my coffee. Where are you guys joining from? Dan is in LA, West Coast. Good morning, Pablo. We're so pumped to have you here. We've got Spain, Berlin. Ooh, international audience. Croatia. So happy Friday evening for some of you. Thank you for giving up your time to spend it here with us. Super excited about this workshop. Has anyone been to a Dribble event before, or is this your first time? Anna from Switzerland, hello. Awesome. First time for many people. Well, welcome. So happy to have you here. We're going to be kicking off momentarily with a absolutely incredible workshop, Creating NFTs and Smart Contracts with No Code. It's brought to you by Bueno and hosted by Pablo Stanley today. I've got a few housekeeping notes for you guys to start, and then we'll kick off with the actual workshop. So you guys are doing this already, but use the chat to get to know each other, introduce yourself, share your comments about the workshop throughout the chat. If you have any questions, then pop them in the Q&A panel. You'll see there's the main chat and then the Q&A panel. So put your questions in there. There's an ability to upvote other people's questions. So if you see a question that you like, click the plus button and then that question will raise to the top of the question queue. This event is going to be super interactive. There's going to be a lot of Q&A, so make sure you ask your questions. There'll also be an opportunity throughout this for you guys to come up onto stage with your camera on, with your microphone on, and speak to Pablo and ask your questions directly. If you want to come up onto stage, raise your hand in the question and answer panel of the chat. You'll see a hand emoji. That signifies to me, hey, I want to come on stage. I want to speak face-to-face and ask my question face-to-face. So do that when you are called to do so. There'll also be the event recorded. So if you need to stretch your legs, if you need to grab a drink, you won't miss anything. The recording will be shared after. If you're sharing this on social media, we would love to see how you're watching this on social media. Please tag us at Dribble and tag Bueno at Bueno NFT. And if you run into any issues, you need any tech help, then either DM me or tap the help button. Okay, I feel like there's enough housekeeping from me. Firstly, I'd like to introduce our amazing Bueno, our sponsors of this workshop. So Bueno is a set of no-code tools that helps creators launch their generative art projects on the blockchain, and they believe that NFTs should be made easy and accessible to everyone. Amazing. I love it. With the Bueno generator and Bueno contract, they offer a seamless NFT creation experience from generation to mint in just a few steps. So super excited for this. And then a bit about Pablo, who is our host today. We worked with Pablo before on other workshops. He's absolutely incredible, and we're so happy to have him back. He is the CEO of Bueno, and he's been designing digital products for more than 20 years. And he's worked on design teams at reputable startups like Lyft, Envision, and co-founded Carbon Health. If that wasn't enough, he was also the co-founder and CEO of Blush, a tool to unlock people's creativity. He regularly speaks at conferences around the world on web design, and he hosts workshops on design and illustration and shares his tutorials on YouTube. So you guys are in really good hands. We're so grateful that he's here today in the capacity of a teacher and a mentor, and teaching us NFT creation alongside Bueno. So without further ado, I'll get Pablo up onto stage.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for that introduction. I'm super excited to be here today. I'm super excited to be learning with everyone here on the chat. I can see you putting stuff, so please say GM say GM, don't. I would love to know more about you. So, hey, like, let's create a community out of this. So, if you want your Twitter, so we can follow each other. Degenerates follow each other, artists follow each other, so we can do stuff together. But yeah, super excited to be here with Dribble. The Dribble community has been in my heart for a long time. I've been a dribbler since oh my god, since 2011. And I remember back then it was just like a real privilege to be part of the dribble community. And I don't know why someone invited me. I was lucky to get invited, and then after that I couldn't get enough. And then I realized, like, oh my god, there's so many talented people, because you start comparing yourself with all the people that are there, and then, ooh, something is going on. Then now it's not interesting. I want to present my screen. It's giving me an error. We tested this before. I don't know what's going on. So let me just put it here. But for the people on this on the green room, I'm getting an error when I try to present. Uh, we test this in the green room and there was no problem, but now I'm getting an error. So green room. I'm going to refresh the page, which is and I'm going to leave the main stage. So can you come back? It like right now, I share my screen. I try to, and
Okay, it might be a connection
hello.
issue. I will
Uh,
chat to the welcome organizers
yeah.
and see if there's a tech issue, but it
So
might be a
yeah,
connection issue.
tell some jokes while I come back.
Okay,
Tell-
sounds good.
okay.
Um, Hi, everyone. Sorry about that. It seems like Pablo is having some connection issues, unable to share his screen. So he is, I think, refreshing, going to come back in a second. Maxim says, bye, Pablo, smiley face, smiley face. He will be back. He shared his Twitter handle, so go follow him. And I'm inviting him back in now. Yes. Amazing. Pablo is back in the green room. I'm going to get him back onto stage and he is able to share his screen. So let's restart this.
I'm back, baby. I am back. Sorry about that. I don't know what was going on. I see everyone sharing their Twitter. This is like a love space. Like, go and no, don't be creepers. Just follow each other. But I'm going to share my screen. I don't know if you can see my screen. Uh, it's hard. There you go. Now you can see my screen. Beautiful. So let's go right ahead. GM to everyone. Today, this is the agenda. I'm going to give you an intro about Bueno and NFTs, a quick demo of Bueno's gallery. We're going to get into Photoshop, Procreate, Figma, putting everything in Bueno, adjusting rarity and rules in Bueno, and then generating 500 tokens. Maybe we lower it down to 100 just to make it quick. Then we're going to make a smart contract. We're going to deploy it, and hopefully we can actually mint it and we can profit. Yes. So just really quickly, Bueno is building no code tools for NFT creators. Our mission is, like Madeline was saying, is to help creators of all backgrounds launch digital collectibles without coding, putting their stuff on the blockchain. And you don't have to spend days learning about blockchain solidity, invest weeks, if not months, to launch NFTs. Like, you can do it in a weekend, seriously. And we're going to do it in a couple of hours today. And also, we have a toolkit to rule them all. You can generate, you can mint, you can understand. We have a lot of information. You can also engage engaged. We have what is a 2D game maker that you can use your NFTs to create your games. We're not going to get into that today, maybe another time, but something that you can check out for sure. And the idea is that you can generate thousands of NFTs in seconds with your art. And it's amazing because you can just do it with no code. You can just put your smart contract out there, and then suddenly your NFTs can be collected and collect all the data the Web3 way. And also the microverse, as I was telling you, which is beautiful. I love it. Is I don't know. Like we're not going to get into that, but something that you should like definitely look. Some of the stuff that people have been saying, some of the collections they have been launched on Bueno, like Wonder Paws, Spooky Universe, the Love Stars, and yeah, so far we have around 9,000 creators, over 10,000 collections. Look at all that art. It's so beautiful. And not only like this is weird, but 1.5 million tokens have been made in 6 months, which is like we are filling the blockchain with JPEGs. And some of those are actually animated GIFs. So yeah, so also we got some money. I don't know, like this is important, like hey, to know that we're legit. We actually have a budget to just keep experimenting. And that's it. That's our intro. I'm going to I think there is a document that I want to share. I'm going to actually put it on the public on the public chat, just in case you don't have it. But yo, go to that Notion, and that Notion document has a lot of the stuff that we're going to be using today. And just the stuff is just like a creating a Bueno account in NFT.bueno, the duplicating the Figma file, installing the Figma plugin, previewing the collection that we're doing, and just links there. So this is more like resources that we're going to be using today. So the first thing that we want to do is create a Bueno account. If you haven't, just like go to just bueno.art, and you can just connect your wallet. Just connect your wallet, you have an account. Once you have an account, then it's going to take you to nft.bueno.art. And that's where you have all the tools. And here on the tools, you have art, smart contracts, the forms that you have made. For example, here are some of the forms that I made, and also your settings. Later in the future, we're going to have also microverses here. But so far, these are the things that you have. And here, I'm going to just like show you real quickly, like, for example, like some of the art that I made, some of the collections that I made, and just me experimenting. For example, this one that is called Humankind, I'm still like just me experimenting with this artwork that I created in Procreate. And you can see here, like this is 10,000 just like little doodles of these elements. And you can just like click on them, and then you can filter to them, just like, hey, see all the ones that have like, for example, I want the ones that are like have the tired eyes. You click on that and then see that all of them have tired eyes, but they all look so different, right? And that's because we have the ability to just manage all the different layers and add like different what do you call it, just like rarity to all of them. We're going to do this in a second, but I just want to show you the power of this. You have all your attributes, for example, all the backpacks, and then from here you start seeing which of these are more just like are more common and more rare. The lower it is, the rarer it is. This one is estimating that it's 0.19% of the whole collection out of 10,000. And if you want to go into detail, you can just go in here and say like, hey, edit the attribute. And then here you actually start seeing quantities, estimates. If you want to get nerdy with this, you can totally do this. And for example, you can even say like, hey, don't do it with an algorithm. Don't do it like randomly with percentages. Give me an exact number. For example, here I said like, hey, the synthesizer that is a backpack, give me only 18. Only generate out of the 10,000 collections, only generate 10, 18 of those. And you can even say the whole attribute, it should have a rarity of specifically. So some of them are not going to have backpacks, and you can just like say that. So out of these 66%, you have other percentages. It's almost like that joke from Anchorman, where it's like 60% of the time works 100% of the time, something like that. So yeah, so here you can see all the different things that we have. So all the different attributes, and you have control over every little detail. And once you mess around with this, you can just like preview your collection, and at any time you can just like start filtering, which is great because this way you can start seeing how all your collectibles are going to look. Do they all look very similar? Do they all look different enough? Are they all looking good? So you as an artist, as a designer, you start getting that feeling right away here. So that's bueno. But now, okay, Pablo, this is cool, but how do you make it? Okay, so I'm going to show you two different processes of preparing your art, and one of them is Photoshop. And Photoshop means that you can use Procreate too. And this is another collection that I made. Is I call it Buena Gente, and this is like the default collection. If you whenever you create a new account in Bueno, you're going to see this collection. And let's actually open it over here. So it's this one that is called Bueno. I think is this one. Yeah, Bueno Demo. And you can start seeing here that we have all of these elements, right? But how did I organize them? I actually made everything on Procreate and then I put it on Photoshop. So this is like a really easy way to just like organize everything. You start putting all of your attributes in different ways in different folders. So all of your attributes are here. I create a template and then I start drawing all my stuff like the flame, the double bun, the Monroe. Uh, As you can see, like if you zoom in there, you can see that I made these really quick, like. But that's a cool thing about this that you can just like make something really quick on Procreate, and then suddenly you have a collection. Super quick hairs, all of these, you put them in a folder, and then you're ready. So once you have all of this, once you have all of your different components in different folders, for example, here you have scribbles, you have all your clothings. Let's turn this on, and you have different bodies. For example, I put different bodies at different colors. La la la. I love this one. This one I love. So you have all of these layers. They all are using the same thing. You just paint them differently, and now you have different bodies, and you just call them. This is really important. How you call them: seafoam, chocolate, cream. You can get really creative with that stuff. Once you have all of that stuff, then you're going to need another script that is called like a export layers to files, and you should have a link to that one too. Export layers to file, and then here on the script you're going to be able to just like select how do you want to export all of this stuff. And usually I want to export all of my layers, and right now sometimes you only want to export the visible one, but since I'm hiding stuff, I'm going to say like no, export everything. And I also want them to be PNG, so I want them to be file names, everything here's PNG, and you want it to be transparent, so all the different attributes are transparent. Let me see if I can zoom in. Yeah, transparency. And also, you want the groups to be folders. So I'm going to select a place where I can just like export this. I'm just going to put it on my desktop. This will create a zip file super quick. Look at this. It's 91 files. It's putting them together. And as it's putting them together, what we want to do is just go back here. I'm going to start creating a new collection. Da, da, da. I'm going to create a new collection, but I'm going to put it under PAP stuff. Oh, there you go. Under my project PAP stuff. I think by default you have one project that is called My Project, but you can create multiple projects. So PAP's stuff, I'm going to create a new collection, and then here's asking you, drag and drop your assets. And since Photoshop has already made everything, let's just go ahead and just like, hey, I think I put it on my desktop. So everything is here. You know what? Let's call it Buena Gente. Buena Gente. And let's Buena Gente and Dribble. I think I should have put it on a folder. So let me just put everything in this folder. Sorry about that. There you go. So now this folder that is called Buena Gente, you want to export the whole folder, okay? I have my body, all my different bodies. Let's just check it real quickly. Yeah, this is looking good. Let's test it out. So just drag and drop my folder. Hey, look at this. We have all the different color backgrounds. It's detecting 77 components. All the clothing, all the helmets, all the body, the hair, the eyes, the texture. This is looking good. So let's Great. Next. Now, this is not looking that good. What is going on here? Here is adjusting, is letting you adjust the layers, how things are going to be layered together on your NFT. Right now, Bueno doesn't understand that. So you have the opportunity to just do that really easily. Just color background is all the way to the to the bottom. So that's good. I think helmet should be all the way to the top. I think hair should be below the helmet. Mouth, I think eyes should be on top of everything too. Then the texture should be all the way to the bottom, below the color background. And then clothes should be on top of the body. There you go. Now it's looking like an actual, hey, like an actual little buena gente, right? So let's create our collection. We do a little dance before creating this collection, celebration dance, and look at that. We have 10,000 collectibles created instantly. Lovely. But they don't look that great. Some of them, look at this. Something is wrong here, right? So, like, we have this helmet, but it's like not looking good with the hair. And that's because when I created my collection, I wanted to have two different types of characters, the ones that have hair and the ones that have a helmet on top. A helmet, or just like a well, sometimes a paper bag is not so much of a helmet, just a paper bag. So what I can do is I go to manage and I can start managing all of my stuff. And one of them things that I want to manage is my templates. So on this one, I'm going to call it with hair. Then I'm going to duplicate this one, duplicate it, and then this one I'm going to call it with helmet. You know, there you go. So on this one, I want to turn off the hair, save my template. And on this one, I want to turn off the helmet. And that way, it's only the hair. And let's save the template. Beautiful. Now let's regenerate or preview. Yes, we're going to regenerate 10,000 tokens. Let's go back to our preview. Da-da-da. Is regenerating. You can see here the regeneration happening. So now, at a quick glimpse, it looks like it's working. This is starting to be beautiful. I'm loving it. Something There's some things that I'm not liking though. For example, this, the eyes are like behind, but they don't look that great. So, for example, here I can do two things. I can either put the eyes always to be on the top, which I think will work, or I can create a rule. So, the cool thing here is that the preview is allowing you to create all of these generations and quickly make a decision. So from here, I don't like this, so I need to make a change. So I'm going to make a change on my template. I'm going to go back, and here on the layers, I think the eyes should be all the way to the top. Let's save this template. And you know what? Let's do the same here on the hair. Let's put the eyes all the way to the top. And that way, the glasses, whenever we're using glasses, are on top of the hair too, and they're going to look good. So let's save the template. Let's go back and regenerate our preview. Da, 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 da. We have to do a little dance while we wait for a regeneration. Hey, this is, I love it. I love this. This is the first time I actually see this. The eyes like popping out of the of the cardboard box. I freaking love this. Now this is looking good. Yeah. I love this. So now this is starting to look good. This is starting to just like this is looking nice. Now you start looking for stuff that you don't like, you don't want to happen, right? So one stuff that you might not want to happen could be, let's see, what do I not like happening? Da-da-da. Let's say that we don't like. It's hard. They all look so good, right? Well, what is going on? Maybe there are no rules that we need to set. But let's set just an example of a rule. It's just like I'm really trying to find something that doesn't work, and I'm not. This is the magic of good design, baby. Suddenly you just make it and it works. But usually, sometimes I will find stuff that I didn't like. So let's just say, well, I actually like this, but let's say that you don't want this. You don't want the glasses on top of this, of the cardboard box. Let's create a rule that says cardboard box and glasses, which I think they're called, yeah, eyes, glasses. I don't want it to mix. I don't like this. It doesn't make any sense. Whatever. Okay, let's create a rule so those don't mix. And here's a rule creator, and that means that I want the glasses not mixing with the cardboard. There you go. I just created a rule, and I don't know if you saw that, but I said glasses, cardboard. And here I can actually even like put multiple traits. And if I want to say like a Monroe, for example, ooh, oh no, 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 that's because it's only here. It's only showing me the elements that are here in this token. That's really cool because like here in context, I see the stuff that I don't like, and here when I create the rule, I am just like only seeing these traits. So that's why it's not allowing me to search for other stuff. So now I'm going to regenerate this preview, regenerate the whole thing. And now let's look for that stuff. Let's say a helmet on cardboard. Let's see if they mix with the glasses. Zero results. You see this here? Zero results. That's because we create a rule that says cardboard and glasses. Do not ever mix those two. So now we create a rule, even though there's many glasses, there's 1,000 glasses, and there's still 750 cardboard helmets. Even though that's going on, it's not combining them. So I'm going to turn off that filter. And so far, like we have created one rule, but we have seen people creating thousands of rules because they create really complicated art, and this allows them to just like, hey, like say, be very specific about the things that they want, how they want their art to look like. So, okay, so we have so far created a rule, we created some templates, and now let's say that you want some of this stuff to be a little bit more rare. Let's say that this specific, what is this called? The clothing that is robots, we want it to be rare. We want it to be just like not as common, right? So let's go and see our clothing. And our clothing, we have if you see here the numbers, you see that they're pretty evenly distributed. They're between 680 and 720. So the algorithm is doing its job of like keeping everything random, but also even because we haven't set any rules about rarity. So but you can see here the robot right now it's a 698. So it's pretty even. It's almost like the same as everything, right? But we want to make it more rare. So we go to our manage tab. And then here on the clothes, we're going to find the robot one. And then here I can just like zoom in. And here the slider is telling me, hey, do you want it to be common or do you want it to be not as common? So I'm going to slide this. And now it's unusual. Unusual. I love the word unusual. But so hold on. So it was common. See the estimates. It's 7.14%. Over here, every layer is a 7.14, right? When I change this, then it makes the other ones more common because this is making room for the other ones to there. So there are more of the other ones and there's less of this. So I can just like, 3.77%. That means that there's going to be, it used to be 700. So now it's going to be around 350, a little bit more rare, right? Let's regenerate our preview. Let's go back to see our collection. It's generating. Do a little dance always. Don't forget about the dance. It's really important. Bueno has a camera integration that if you don't do the dance, it will not work. Okay. So helmets. No, hold on. It was clothing. Let's go to the robot one. Let's see the numbers again. Da, 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 da. There you go. The robot one, now it's a little bit more rare. See, it's only 377. It used to be 700. And now, if you see the numbers of the other ones, they're a little bit more common. None of them is actually below 600. There used to be below 600. It's only the Tang one is at 699. That is pretty accurate, baby. Now, if you are a numbers person, you like dabbling in Google Sheets, and you're a nerd like that, you can just go over here to the gallery view. Let's hold on here. To the list view, sorry. And then here is going to allow you to just like see everything in detail. So I just want to see the numbers, Pablo. Just show me the numbers. So you can even like see which ones are more rare and less rare. What is going on? Why is this not? Oh, you know what? This is a bug. This is a bug. You know what? It's trying to, I want it to be by quantity, but it's actually doing it by name. Okay, we found the bug. Beautiful. Here, live. for everyone to see. We we did it wrong. You see, it's actually doing it alphabetical instead of doing it by numbers. This the robot should be all the way to the top. Anyway, well, we found a bug, and that's okay. But if you want to do everything alphabetical, it will do its job. Yo, it's not actually doing it. It's so weird. There's some bug there. I am sorry. So anyway, but here you can start seeing everything on your, and you can even edit the attribute. If you see a number that you don't like, hey, I'm not liking the numbers, I'm not liking the percentages, you can just come back here. And for example, let's say that the rings one, the polka dots one, I want to make it super rare, super rare. Let's save those changes and let's see what happens. Let's go back and regenerate a preview. Da, da, da. You do the dance or it will not work. You do the dance or it will not work. Let's go back to our clothes. And the polka one, it's only 17. That is really rare. Now let's check it out. There's only 17 with the polka one. I actually kind of like that because the polka one is pretty cool. So that's the kind of control that you get here when you, and just to go back, we made this with Procreate. I made this with Procreate. You can just put it on Photoshop too. And the idea here, the only thing that is important when you're exporting is that you put all of your different attributes in layers. Here, when you're creating your art, you put it in different folders. Then you export it. And once you export it, you want to export it in a way that is something like this, that is like, you have your body, for example, and you have all of your PNGs in transparent. Once you're ready, you can just like select this, create a new collection here, and just like, and or even whenever you're updating, you can just like upload new assets, just upload the whole folder again, and it should just upload it. Right now, it's ignoring everything, right? Why? Because we didn't make any changes. But if we had made any changes, it would say like, oh, there's a new trait, or oh, you updated something. So yeah, so that's with Photoshop. Now let's move on. Before I move on to Figma and how to do it with Figma, I would love to know if there are any questions. So I'm going to go back over here to see what resolution is recommended. Resolution, let me see what the resolution I'm doing right now. But I think I'm pretty sure I'm doing over 2000. So, oh, hold on. No, do it on pixels. Yeah. Oh, 1358. Usually like the images on OpenSea and stuff, they're around like 960 or 800 pixels, but you can go as high as you want. Once you are on Bueno, you can set different rules. For example, maybe your art is at 5,000 by 5,000. Here in the settings, you can actually say, hey, the artwork, once it's exported and once people get it, I wanted to export it as 1200. 1200 is pretty recommended. And just like, we have a max of 2400 and 2000 for GIFs, 2000 just like animated GIFs. But 1200 is pretty good. If you are using pixel art, you can just enable pixel art. And that way, if your assets are 24 by 24 pixels, it doesn't matter. It will remove all of the just like vittering and all that. What do you call it? Well, anything, that thing that just adds pixels. This will enable, just make your art, even when it's 1200 by 1200 and your art is only 24 by 24, it will still generate a big file, but really crisp pixels. And it will still look like a pixel art. Just for those pixel artists who are out there or anyone who wants to experiment with that, we support that. Also, here in the settings, you can just like, you want it to be on Solana or do you want it to be in Ethereum? How do you want your metadata to be? And we're going to get into that in a second. And you know what? Actually, I'm going to say that I'm going to generate, I'm going to say the settings. And while we do the Figma stuff, I'm going to be generating 500 tokens. So I'm going to save and apply the settings. And let's regenerate the preview. Yes, it's only 500 tokens. And now let's go to generate. 500 generated. Let's get started. This is where you generate your token set. So let's get started. Here you have the previous settings. Hold on. Do we actually have it ready? Buena gente test. Buena gente love. It's only 500. Buena. Let's call our symbol. 1200 pixels format. There you go. And let's do same as assets. metadata and Ethereum. Okay, we have everything, and the commission it's going to be 5%, and it's at the creator, which is just me. Ha ha ha! I know. Hold on. Yeah, hold on. How do I? Uh, yeah, let's do that. So there's my wallet. I'm going to add the creator. There you go. So save and apply settings. Creator must be up to 100%. Oh, serious. Yeah, add creator, and there you go. Save and apply settings. That was an error that I made. Sorry about that. Let's generate. Now let's generate it. Get started. We have everything. Da 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 da. This is looking good. Yes. Let's generate a 1200 pixels Ethereum. Beautiful. And correct the settings. Yeah, this is looking good. Well, you can download a sample if you want to, but this is looking good. Let's go back to metadata preview and let's download a sample, because later we're going to be putting this on the blockchain. So this is kind of important that you always check that everything is okay. So let's go to our desktop and it's just like a let's check out our sample here. Hey, this is just a GIF. It's looking good. I love it. Let's continue. Looks great. And continue. And I'm about to create 500 tokens. Again, you can generate a free sample. Da 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 da. I'm going to connect my wallet to do it all. Storing your tokens. This may take a few seconds. And okay, while it's doing this stuff, there you go. Okay, payment due. Let's pay and generate. Finalizing payment. This is where we charge you. This was 0.0025 ETH, which is like what, $12? I don't know, but it's not a lot because it's a really small token set. But yeah, so now let's go back and to see if you have any questions while this is being created. The Ace glasses don't look so great outside. The transparent style helmet. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's something you can change with the layer, and Pablo just seems to be moving fast. Okay, cool. So let's go and wow, it's creating that token set. And you know what? You're right about that. So now I'm not liking that. So you know what? Yeah, you're right. The helmet should be on the top. But then no, it's just like some of them are gonna not gonna look great, and that's okay. So it's generating this token set. And while it's doing that, I'm going to go to Figma. How is it possible not to take into account a trait for the rarity? Let's say I don't want to take the background for the rarity. So I don't get the same NFT with just a different. I don't understand the question, but I think they mean that, like, let's say that this, you can turn off anything the metadata. So here is telling you what is the metadata. If you want to show it or not, you can turn that off. And that way, the background is not going to be an attribute. It's still going to be something that is distributed, but it doesn't show in the metadata. So it doesn't add to the rarity of your collection. Let's say the same with, and for example, sometimes you have something that is just repeated and you actually want to do that. Whereas like it's just the same attribute. So you can just go to the attribute. You know what? The texture, I don't want it to be in the metadata. It's all the same. So, but it being in the metadata is useful if you want people to be able to just like filter by those things. For example, here the texture is something that I can just like filter by, and this is something that will appear on OpenSea too. And yeah, you're right. It doesn't look that great, but it's okay. So let's go back to Figma. Figma, it's and before we go, let's see if you have any more questions. Late to the party, I said thanks. How is it possible? You can change with the layer, and Pablo just seems to be moving fast. Okay, cool. Now, Figma.
Oh, Pablo,
Yes.
I was going to say we've got quite a few questions in the Q&A panel.
Oh, I was
Most
on the
of
chat.
it
Sorry
is
about that.
about tacos, but there are more.
What do you have some NFTs that have GIFs of or animation in them? So if you want to make animations, I don't know if you saw this, but actually some of these are animated. I don't know if you see the eyes, but I don't know how it's streaming and if you can see the animation, but the eyes are animating, and this is because I added some animation to some of these, and to be able to do that, you need to just like export the frames, the separate frames of each part of the animation. And I'm going to actually explain specifically in Figma how it is, but I'm going to actually show you here on the Finder. You're going to see here, for example, when everything was exported, you're going to see that there's subfolders inside the eyes. And that's because the Cyclops and the Simple, for example, they all have also, the eyes, like I don't know if you can see this, but they move. So all the layers, a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you can create animations and every attribute can be animated if you export it as PNGs. And that's something that on Photoshop, I organize my file that way too. So here, if I go to the eyes, I organize my folder to say like, hey, inside the eyes, I have my simple eyes. Let's turn this off. I have my simple eyes, and you see that there's a ton of layers here. Let me just turn those off. And then we have 1, we have 2 that moves just a little bit, we have 3 that just moves a little bit, we have 4 that moves a little bit to the left, and so on. So all of these are layers of my animation, and then it goes back, as you can see. So these are the layers of my animation. And then on Bueno, that way you can just animate any attribute. Any attribute can be animated if you have all the different frames of your animation. So that way you can have your body to be animated, the hair to be animated, the eyes to be animated, and combine those animations and then create a GIF out of all of those animations. So yeah, so that's hopefully that answers the question. And I think in Figma we're going to see a little bit better how this is. In Figma you can also create your collection, and you create it by just combining all the elements. So I'm going to be really quick like how to show you this, but here I have one component, and this is going to be my NFT. So this component, you're going to see that it has multiple components inside. We have eyes. Let me just zoom in so you can see it. We have the hole in the body is also a component. We have the hair, we have the mouth, we have the body, we have the heads, and we have the background. Now, each one of these is also a component. And if I click on it, and I just like a I go and see the component, I can just like go over here and I see that this component is actually one variant in another component set, the hair one. So here it has all of these component sets. I have diamonds, I have triangle, I have circle, buns. All of these are different variants in my component set. So that way, Bueno is going to know that all of these are traits inside the hair attribute. The same happens with the eyes. We have simple eyes, we have glam shades, and you can see over here too. Property, it doesn't matter how this is called, property 1, property 2, whatever it's called. The important thing is how the property is actually called, the variant is called. So here we have glasses, we have 3 eyes, and I'm pretty sure it's hearts, heart eyes. Now, what is this thing and what is going on here? And the thing is that if you create a component inside the component, then that can be also an animation. So if you go here to triangle, you're going to see, for example, this one that is a circle. This one that is just a circle, it's just an ellipse. It's just a shape, right? It's just a circle. But over here, this one, the one that is a triangle, if you move over here, you're going to see that it's not just a triangle, it's actually a component. And if I click on it, you're going to see that this is just a variant in another component set. This component set is the animation of this here. The same is with this diamond. And I don't know if you can see this, but here you can see that all of these components are animating. And all I did was just like, hey, select this one and I rotated a little bit to the left. And then on this one, I also rotated a little bit. And then on this one, I also rotated it a little bit. So I go and do these rotations. On this one, I think I made it a little bit like I shrunk it. So you can see that here it's shrinking, sorry. And over here, this one is only doing an animation like this. You know what? Let's add another one where the circles are even closer together. Da-da-da. And let's add another one in which the circles are even closer. There you go. Now we have 4. Let's duplicate this and let's center them. and let's center them again. Ooh, it's not doing it visually that great. I don't think I'm doing it that great. So you know what? Yeah. So let me center all of this stuff. So it's always centered. Let's always center our little thing. Let's always center our little thing. There you go. So now we have that, and so we have 3, 4, 5. We need it to be 8. So let's duplicate this one. Let's put it all the way to the bottom. Let's duplicate this one all the way to the bottom. And 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And let's duplicate this one and let's put it all the way to the bottom. And let's just move it just a tiny bit. There you go. So now all of these should, let's just add, let's call them property or frame, call them frame equals, and then just a number. Okay. So now we have all of our frame sets. And this is going to be the animation for the buns. So let's call it buns animation. There you go. So over here, this one is a component that is calling this other component. And that way it's going to know that this hair, this type of hair is animated. Okay, so we have all of our components. Each variant is one trait in or attribute. As you can see here, the bodies, there are multiple different bodies. There are multiple types of heads. There are multiple types of eyes. All of these are just variants. Also the backgrounds, they're all multiple types of textures. They all have white over a background color. Now, something that is really cool when you do it on SVG, when you do it in Figma, is that you can also do colors as variants. So what I did is here I created 3 different color palettes, one for the body, one for the hair, and one for the background. And all I did is just like here, I created different, just like what do you call these? Color palettes that are inside a folder that is called Bueno. So inside Bueno, I have body, hair, background. And inside body, I have 5 different colors, which is teal, yellow, red, green, orange. And this is really cool because that way you only design it once and then you let Bueno do all the randomization of the colors. So it's going to be combining body with hair and with background colors. And to be able to just like permit that, what you need to do is here in your components, you want to use the specific type of color that you want. So in the hair, I want one of these hairs. Just by selecting one, then Bueno is going to do the randomization of the whole thing. So, okay, we have everything. We have also our backgrounds have the background color. Beautiful. Now I'm going to export this thing. Da-da-da. Oh, yeah. I'm going to use the Figma plugin. So you need to install it. And once you install it, you're going to see this one. It doesn't look that great. We're working on the design of this. It looks a little bit, it could look a little bit better. But once you select your component, then you can export as PNG or SVG. We want it to be SVG. Why? Because we want to be able to control the color palettes. And with vectors, we can do that. So I'm just going to generate. This is going to create a folder, and I'm going to put it on my desktop, geometric punks. This is a zip file. So now let's go back to this one. I'm going to unzip this one and let's check it out. Let's see if it has everything. We have a JSON file, and this one has everything about the colors, and we have a background. Let's see. We have all of our SVGs. Beautiful. And now let's go back to Bueno and create a new collection. So Bueno, new collection. I'm going to just like drag and drop the geometric punks. We can see there's 34 components, different types of heads, different types of backgrounds, different types of bodies, all of that stuff. Now let's do next. And then let's set this up. I think the background should be all the way to the bottom. Then the body should be here. Maybe the mouth should be on top of the head. Maybe hair should be all the way to the top. Eyes, the whole should be on top of the body. That is good. Let's create the collection. And look at that. Look at how colorful that is. And also, it's animated. See the animations on the glasses, on this one. Also, this is combining 2 animations. This is what I was telling you before. The hair and the eyes are animated. So it's making and also this one is only the hair. So it's creating this combination of different animations and putting them into one. Now, if you want to control just like what is the speed of your animation, you can come back here. By default, it says just eight frames per second. If we want to go faster, let's say there's 12, and you can see a preview here how fast it's going. It's going super fast. So let's save and apply the settings. And let's go back to the preview. And now it's looking really fast. Look at that. Beautiful. So again, here you could just like do everything that you want, where it's like you can just like manage the settings and everything. Now, when you work with SVG, the browser works a little bit slower. This is just because of the browser. Usually SVG, it takes it a little bit longer to actually load that stuff. So that's why if you scroll, you see some white spots there. That's because it's SVG. But with SVG, you can export at you can just like any resolution. You can export at, I don't know, like 1200 if you want to, and it's going to export, and you want it to be GIFs, no, not GIFs. So okay, we have that, we have everything. Now I'm going to move to contracts, how to create your smart contracts. But before doing that, I want to know if anyone has any questions. And yeah, so like someone from the green room, tell me if there's any questions. No?
Hey, Pablo. No one wants to come inside yet, but or come up onto stage. But we do have some questions in the green room. Are there downsides to using Bueno instead of having someone build an algorithm code? Can you get as just as complex with Bueno?
Well, the question is like, what is the difference between working with someone else who makes the code?
Yeah. So can you get as complex?
Uh, Complex. Who do you want to get complex?
Good question. Ben, can you maybe clarify in the chat? The question is, are there downsides to using Bueno instead of having someone building algorithmic code? Can you get just as complex on Bueno? So maybe we could get some confirmation in the chat.
I mean, I want to say that hey, there's the advantages here are that you're previewing every change that you make as a designer. Oh, what if I do this? What if I do this? Like, and you're not having to have these conversations and back and forth with someone on those things. You have control over your generations, and you can preview it. You can see how everything is looking together. So yeah, but I don't know. Like if it's hard to see the benefits of all this, like being able to just control your color palettes, even the rarity of color palettes, like coming in here and saying like, hey, let's make orange a little bit more rare. Let's make the background that is like the sky a little bit more rare, and test it out and preview it. I think there's a huge value on that, and being able to just like play around as a designer, as a builder, like being able to have this kind of control for me is just invaluable. But obviously, you want to collaborate with other people, and maybe with other people, you can collaborate on other things. Here, the idea is that you, as a designer, as a creator, you have control over everything, and you can actually. You have the power to just like change anything and create your algorithm however you want it.
Awesome. We also have a question from Jennifer, who asks, will this work with abstract art that I already have created?
It works with anything. Like, do you want to see this one? This one I just made. These are just patterns. So as long as you have the layers, you can just like create anything. And this one I had a lot of fun. Let me just open it here on Figma. Let me see if I have it around here. Da, 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 da. Hmm, 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 hmm. Wow, I have it as an unnamed, untitled file. So let me just open it so you can see it. So you can just use anything. So here, for example, I was just experimenting, by the way. I was like, hey, different just like patterns, and then how to combine them. So I made all of these types of patterns. Like, oh, hold on, where are the patterns? Da, da. Wait, is this what's going on? No, I don't think this is it. Hold on. Pattern patterns in collectibles. Da-da-da-da. Oh, there you go. Here they are. Sorry about that. I was opening something else. So here you see all the different types of textures that I created. And then the idea is that all of these get combined with different color palettes. So I created different color palettes for everything. And not only that, but because like, hey, if you create a color palette for this means that this gets combined in different shades, because we have the power. If you create subfolders of subfolders, then you have the say, eight from forest, you have different shades. You have one, two, three, four, five. You can get really nerdy with what you're creating. So, and it doesn't have to be characters, it can be anything. So, I made this one. This is my specific composition. But once you put the composition in Bueno, then it creates all these things. Like, and since we have control over the colors, then it makes some weird combinations that maybe you don't like, and if you don't like them, you can just like create rules so those things don't happen anymore. But yeah, like it can do anything. It can be cities, it can be portraits, it can be, I don't know, scenes of food, whatever you want. As long as you have all the different layers and you combine them, then you're good. Oops, sorry about that. And is there any other questions? Ba, 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 da, ba.
We do have one from Nee. Is there a way to keep already rendered slash generated tokens when regenerating, for example, when I have some really cool ones that I don't want to lose when regenerating?
Um, so, so maybe you have really cool ones and you don't want to lose when regenerating. Is that the question?
Yeah. Is there a way to keep already rendered slash generated tokens when?
Yes, of course. And actually, that's something that you want to do. Where like a maybe you want to have one of ones. So for example, here, let's say that I want this one to save as a custom token, and I always want this to be there. So I can save this as a custom token, and now this one, since it's a custom token, I can just like a regenerate the rest, but that one is always going to be there. So if you go to custom tokens, that one is there, and now it's 428. If I regenerate again, everything gets regenerated except for that custom token. Now it's 440. So yes, you can go and just like save any custom token that you really like. Oh my god, I love this one. Let's save it as a custom token. There you go. And now if you regenerate, it regenerates everything. Everything is random, but those ones stay there. So hopefully that answered your question. And also that way you can also create your own one of ones. If you go here to custom tokens, you can also say like, oh, you know what? Delete this custom token. Or you know what? I want to upload my own one of ones and I have a bunch. You can just like you can just like go ahead and just like upload them here. Here you can just like say, instead of one that is using the attributes here, I want to choose my own file. And then if you made it by hand, maybe another artist create a custom token, you can just like choose a file and upload that custom token, and treat it as a one of one. Any more questions before I move on to contracts?
We have two more questions.
Yeah.
So Riva asked, does Photoshop also export animated layers, or are those done separately?
Does Photoshop what? Export layers?
Yeah, animated layers, or are those done separately?
Oh yeah, so like the one that I showed from here from Buena Gente, this is the one that I made with Photoshop too. So in Photoshop, what I was telling you is that here, I don't know if maybe they arrived a little bit late, but this is how you create animations. You create there's a folder with your attribute, and inside that folder there's another folder with your frames. So simple, these are the simple eyes, and then you can have multiple layers, and those are your frames of your layers. So when you export this, then it's going to export something like this. Let me just like go over here, And I think I show this too, where it's like, hey, your folder is going to be exported with all the different attributes, right? And then all your different eyes. But inside eyes, there's another subfolder, and this is one simple. So if you go like this, you're going to see that it's animated. So you see all the different frames of your animation. So yeah, that's made with Photoshop, and that can also be made with Procreate too, if you want to use Procreate. So yeah.
Awesome stuff. And last question from Carlos. Maybe you need to sort of elaborate on this, Carlos, in the chat, but he says strategies for NFTs with very few traits, e.g., backgrounds, characters.
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that question? It's
Yeah.
hard for me to understand, like the I'm not used I'm not used to your accent too. So like it's also it's hard to me. Sorry, because like
No, of course.
English is my second language. So could you repeat it again?
Of
I'm
course.
slow.
It's also up on stage here, written out. So strategies for NFTs with very few traits, e.g., background, characters.
S- Strategies for
Mm.
NFTs with very few traits. Yeah, the strategy is then create a smaller collection. If you don't have a lot of traits, then you're not going to be able to create a lot of tokens. So then I suppose your token set is going to be a little bit smaller. So instead of doing 10,000, maybe it is only 1,000 or 500. The more traits you have, the more variations you can have, right? They multiply. But if you have a really small set of traits, then your collection will have a limit on how many you can create. So then that means that you can then make your token set a little bit smaller. If you're not going to add more traits, then that's it. And it's okay. It doesn't have to be 10,000. It can be 500 and it's okay. More rare. I'm going to move on to smart contracts. And so we already created the art, right? We have the geometric punks. We created some Buena Gente love. And I'm pretty sure we made a token set of this. So here on the token set, we can see that your tokens have been generated and are being zipped. So all the token set is here. Now we can upload to IPFS and we can create a smart contract. We can create it from here, or you can also do it over here through the contracts. So like, hey, let's just start from here. I have my contracts. I have some contracts that I have been creating as demos and one that I actually launched. Let's create a new one, right? So the art was geometric punks, right? So let's create a new contract for geometric punks. Geometric punks. There you go. Let's create a contract. And here you can select if it is Polygon or Ethereum. Polygon is a little bit cheaper, although with Ethereum now, it should be pretty good now. Now, GeoPunks, let's call this, and this is a symbol that is displayed on Etherscan. Usually, it's between 3 and 5 characters. So maybe GeoPNKs, just to remove one letter at least. And then from here, it asks you to select a collection. So I'm going to say geometric punks and the one that I just created. Oh, it's potentially not this one. Let's try this one. I have been creating a lot of geometric punks. And now there's no geometric punks. Whoa, 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 whoa. Something is going on. Oh, okay. It's just selecting the only one that is that it has. So I'm going to save and next. You know what? Let's just select a different one. Geometric punks, geometric punks. Maybe it's this one. Wow, it's just like I have created so many of these. Ay, Diosito. Uh, Buena Gente Love. So I'm realizing that I didn't create the geometric ones. It was Buena Gente. Why? Buena Gente Love. Buena Gente. There you go. So, okay, this is the one that I created. I'm so dumb. Sorry about that. Friday, this is the one that I just created. You can see here by the time. So let's select this one and save it next. I was trying something else. So here in my contract, the smart contract allows you, like, whenever you're going to go and sell this stuff, You can set the details of your token set as we did, Polygon or Ethereum, the contract name, the token symbol, and then you go into pricing. And in pricing, you have two options right now. We're working on just like adding more options later, but so far you have two options and how you price your tokens: pre-sale and public sale. Pre-sale means that a people who are in a specific allow list or something, or people who arrive early or something, you give them one specific price. So let's say that zero point zero 0.01 is going to be my price for pre-sale, and I only want it to be 100. The first 100 are the early birds who get the pre-sale price, And now you want to also potentially have a per wallet maximum, because like if you don't have a maximum, then one person can just mint the 100 of them, right? And you don't want just one collector to have that kind of control. So you put a per wallet maximum, and since it's a good price that you're putting, maybe your per wallet maximum is at one only, or maybe two. And then from here also you can say only specific people I want them to do, and that is called an allow list or a white list. So an allow list is just like a list of wallets that have the right to get into the pre-sale. So I already created some, so I can just like choose some of the ones that I created. For example, this one is an allow list that has 5,620 wallets, or I can just like, and this one is using the Bueno tool. It will just show you this, but I can also just create a new one. And create a new one allows you to just import a CSV file. Maybe you got them in, I don't know, on Discord or something. People were just like putting their wallets. You can just like copy and paste them here as a CSV file, or even insert them manually. So you can just like write them down. So many options to just create your allow list. Okay. So I'm going to create an allow list for this. And actually, I think I do have an allow list. Hold on. Somebody showed me an allow list. Let me see. Let me, somebody, yes, give me 1 second. Everybody's seeing this. Sorry about that. So, okay. So I have all of these wallets. So I can just like, and I think these are from the people in the audience. So I can just like copy and paste this stuff. So I'm going to just like export a CSV, share, download as a CSV file, and let's put as a dribble attendees. Beautiful. And now let's actually upload it here. So add new, and let me choose the file. And the file right now is in the desktop. There you go. Okay, cool. So we have all of our wallets here, and these are people who just like enter here, like people who from the audience, as far as I know. So I'm just going to upload it. People who register should be able to just like do this. Okay, cool. So now I have an allow list, and now I can also say in the public sale how expensive it's going to be. And you know what? The public sale is going to be just a tiny bit more expensive. So for those, it's just going to be the 400 that are left on the supply. And I'm going to say also it has a per wallet maximum of one, and I'm going to save and next. Beautiful. So there you go. So far we have added pricing rules on pre-sale and public sale. We have added an allow list to our contract. And now we can go and add our features like who gets the money, right? Right now, by default, it puts your wallet, the one that you're using right now, as the one that gets the percentage of everything. But if you want to add more, you can just like copy paste wallets and add the percentage. Maybe you're working with someone else, maybe it's a coder or another artist, so you can just like add those people to the allow list. Sorry, to the primary sales, like so they can get some money out of the primary sales. Now, also you can set the secondary sales who gets money from the royalties, and you can also set a percentage that is part of the smart contract. This is really important. So you set your own wallet if you want to, or maybe the wallet from the project fund or something. You can just put it here. Also, we have something that allows in the contract to make tokens burnable. So if you want to allow that, you can make them burnable. Now, there's also this thing that is called delayed reveal. Delayed reveal means that people get don't get to see what they got until it's revealed. So everybody gets the same image. So if you want to do that, we can add a placeholder here. Let's go to our desktop. I think I have the logo. Let's just upload this. So everyone is just going to see this image until you reveal. So let's save and next. I think I did something wrong. The total percentage must add up to 100%. This is weird. It should not have 100 here. It should be 95, right? Uh, I don't know why it's like this. Sorry about that. That is the default should be Bueno wants you to do math and use your brain. That's what is going on there. So, okay, so we have this. Now we can deploy our smart contract. And then here, now it's Goerli, which is the new test net, the way to just like test on and deploy a contract on your test net. And here we can see the details of everything. We have a price, we have another price, we have the total supply of those. We can say that 2 can mint on the pre-sale, and then we can only mint 1 on the public sale, which is, and only 258 wallets can mint on the pre-sale, which are the people who are here. So let's deploy or contract on or testnet. Let's switch the network because it wants you to just like deploy your network on testnet. So let's do that. And this is now I switch my wallet to be on Goerli. It just does it for you. You just follow the steps. Da, 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 da. Insufficient funds. I don't have funds. Oh my God. I don't have go early. I'm realizing that. I'm very sorry. Okay, but this is how you do it. I should have prepared. It's just that there has been a merge, and I'm realizing that I don't have I don't have go early. Okay. Well, we can go and see just like a contract that has already been deployed. So this one is RoboGala. So once you have deployed, let me go back and switch back to Ethereum. You can see you can manage your contract. Now that it's already been deployed, you can see what is the supply, what is the price, the maximum per wallet, and at any time you can change that. Right now, for example, we have an allow list that is on, and we can go in here and even change the allow list. Even when the contract is out there, you can say like, hey, let's change it up. Let's create a new one. Let's select a different one, or let's just remove the allow list at all. And also, you can change the price if you want to. Hey, they're not going to be free anymore, and you want to change the price, you can do that. Also, you can change the max per wallet. Also, instead of 6, maybe it's 8 now. And then you can see your balance, how much money you have made. This was a free mint, so our balance is 0. But if you were to have sold this one, then you will see your balance and you could withdraw. And at any time, you can come here and go, instead of close or pre-sale, you can just go to public sale or close it again. Now, another thing that you can do is just like a token airdrop. You can just like airdrop your tool. Also, we have a mint page. This mint page allows you to just like tell people to go to a specific place. Let's actually, and here you can change the logo of it. Let's say that we want to change the background of it to be a different one. So I'm going to select this one. There you go. And you can select the color of it. This is just to create on a simple page. And this is the description. This is super cool. Hola, hello, dribble. How many B's are there? Like 3, right? So let's save the changes. And now let's view the page. And this is a mint page that you can just use. You can just like change your background. You can change your logo, whatever it is. And then people can mint here. Right now, I have already minted everything that is allowed on this wallet, so I cannot mint anymore because I have reached the maximum amount of tokens you can mint. But if someone else who hasn't minted, they could mint here, and this is pretty cool because that way, if you don't have the ability to create a website or anything, you can just like direct people to the mint page here on Bueno. But also, if you do create your stuff on Webflow or WordPress, whatever it is, you can also just use the mint widget. And that way, you can just copy the embed code and paste it on your site. And then people will be able to just like mint from your site. In this way, just like choose the price, auto connect, choose supply. If you just like turn these off, for example, then it starts changing the code here too, and also changes here the preview. But if you want to, you can just like do this whole thing, even change the color of it, and then you can just like copy the embed code and it should work on your website. It's just a div that you just copy paste on your website. And that's pretty much it on like a how to create your art and how to deploy your contract. Here, as you can see, it had all the different rules here as we were doing before. And once it's deployed and once it's in the mainnet, then you're going to be able to manage it again. Like a change the per wallet maximum, change per wallet maximum per transaction. And you can see here that has been deployed to Ethereum, and you can even just like copy the contract address. So yeah, I don't know if I'm pretty sure that people will have a lot of questions. So I'm gonna go to Q&A. Since the smart contracts are a lot about building new interactive features and functionalities later down the road, is that also possible like the custom coded one and to the same degree? Um, Features and functionality down the road. So once a smart contract, there are some things that depending on how the smart contract is, like you can do some things that are still you can still customize once it has been deployed to the mainnet, but most of the stuff is not. So like on Bueno, I don't know if you saw it, but like me, let me just share my screen again. But we allow you to change some of the stuff, so for example, you can change the price even when the contract has been deployed. You can change the max per wallet, you can change the allowlets. Once you make these changes, you will have to make a signature again and just like a do like a redeploy of the contract with just those changes. But for example, you cannot change the art. As far as I know, once you rebuild the tokens, then that's it. They're out there, but you cannot change the contract address or the royalty. It's not something that you can change. You cannot change the supply. So some things cannot be changed, but here in Bueno, we create a contract that is customizable in the future. But that's how we build a smart contract. But some smart contracts, if you work uh, with a coder, an engineer, a Solidity dev, and they don't add the customization of these things down the road, then you're not going to be able to change that. They have to build it from scratch. From the beginning, they have to make those kinds of things customizable. Also, for example, burnable. If you want your token to be burnable, you have to, from the smart contract, has to say that it's burnable too. And that's why we have that option on Bueno, because those are things that, hey, do you want this to be something that you do later? But once, if you deploy it, and these things are not customizable from the smart contract, like if you do your own custom contract, then you're not going to be able to change it because it's already in the blockchain unless you redeploy a new contract. That's once it's in the blockchain, it stays in the blockchain. uh, in other words, will the developer brought in, oh my god, contract the same as way as it was custom coded from scratch? I'm a little confused with your question, Nice. Hopefully, my answer a little bit what I was telling you. Um, Carlos Takemura, the allow list, how is that gathered? Is this a similar concept to newsletter? Yeah, I love that you make that question, Carlos. Why? Because we have a tool for that too. And let me show you that. And I'm glad because like I had forgotten about that. And we have over here, I show you art contracts, but we also have forms. And forms allow you to gather data from people with their wallet. And it's actually, let's create a new form. Let's create a new form and let's call it GeoPunks. You know? GeoPunks, create the form. This form is going to be you can just like upload your own thumbnail, like let's say I already created this stuff, so let's just upload this. And let's call it, you can set an end date of when you are gathering that. You can set a maximum of spots. You can put your project website. So let's put just dribble. Let's put dribble, and this way it will be there. Oops, sorry about that. Oh, there you go. And then you could put your description. This is just a test. And save the changes. There you go. And now you can set requirements. Requirements allow you to say like who can get in this list. So, for example, you can set a balance requirement. Only people who have at least zero point 0.1 ETH. Only people who know the password, and the password is going to be dribble with 4 Bs. So now we have a password. You can also set NFT requirements. I only want people, for example, who are robotos, which is a collection that we made. And then only people who are robotos. I already have the contract address. uh, I want only people who have in their wallet a roboto to be able to enter this. So there you go, I have that. Now you can even connect Discord roles. So I can, for example, I'm going to connect Discord here. I'm going to authorize it, just authorizing my connection with here with Bueno. And now I can select the server that I manage. For example, I manage this one from, let's use the one from Humankind, and only the people who are champs, only the people who are champs in the Humankind, which is a role in Humankind. I'm going to add those. Only those people can enter this list. You know what? I'm going to also ask them for their Twitter, and I'm going to ask them for their email. So let's save the changes. Let's go to the settings. And here on settings, I can even change the background image just to customize it just a little bit more. And I think it was this one. There you go. And let's say that it's black, or the color, the main color. And you know what? Let's make it public. And now I'm allowing submissions, and I'm going to call it GeoPunks. GeoPunks is the name of my URL, and I'm allowing submissions. And now you can even create a integration with Form Secret, like, hey, this is a test. And then over here, congrats, if someone gets in. Capture recommended. Let's save the changes. Wow. We put a lot of stuff into this form. It's going to be really hard to get into this form. Let's preview it. I hope I actually get there. So let's put dribble with 4 Bs. 1, 2, 3, 4. LE. There you go. Now you saw that. That was the password that I put. The wallet. It's being connected, already connected to the wallet, and it's allowing me. Why? Because it has a little bit more than 0.1. So there you go. So now the wallet is there. Let's say that I connect with a different wallet. Let's say that I connect instead of this one. Oh man, I actually don't know how to change the wallet. But well, now I connected to Discord. It detected that I'm on Discord, and then I have that role, so it already connected. Now I can just like put my Twitter. Let's just put Pablo Stanley, and let's put Pablo at bueno.art. There you go. And now I can register. And I sign. That way it signs the wallet, and it's registering, and now I am registered. And congrats. That's the message that we put there, right? So, and here, look, it's dribble there. There you go. That's a link that I put. This is a test. Now let's go over here. And now your responses are here. So if anyone responded, I see here that there's one response, and that's me. Has my wallet, has my my Twitter name, my email, when it was submitted, and I can actually download this as a CSV file if I wanted to. But now, in our contract, the question was like, how do I gather that stuff? Well, you can create your form. You can just like tell people, go to forms.bueno.art/geopunks, or whatever you want to call it. And then you're going to be able to get into the allowed list or the whitelist. So I created my form. I'm going to go to my contract. I'm going to go back to this one that I was creating. And you know what? I'm going to say that here, my allowed list is only people who are on that one. And it was, what was it called? Robogala, Bill Bones. Wait, what is going on? I think it's not detecting the new allow list. Let's go to pricing. Let's choose. And yeah, Robola, Humankind, Bill Bones, Buena Gente. Oh, wow. There's only. Was it called Robagala allow list? I don't think it was. Let's see what was the name of our form. Our form was GeoPunks, and our responses we have so far one response, so it should be called GeoPunks. It's I suppose it's just taking a while before it does detect it here. GeoPunks is not here, but it should appear here. believe me, it should appear here. But geopunks and whatever allowance you create, it would appear here. And that's it. That's how you gather information, and that's how you connect it to your contract. There's a bug here that is not putting them here, but it should usually be here. Geopunk should appear here. Any other question? Can the Bueno form be embedded on our own website, or can we set up on a custom DNS? That is a good question. We don't have an embed so far, so it will have to be just like a link to this. But we're working on a way to embed your form, which is, yeah, that's a great question, because we want it to be like, hey, in your page, and it's okay, you know. So yeah, we're working on that, and on an embed way to just put it on your page. Can the Bueno form be, for example, if you want to add a staking feature at a later stage, can a developer come in and add that to the contract? Yeah, staking feature will be different, and it's like, no, it's not supported by Bueno right now. We're working on doing that, but it shouldn't stop another developer from adding staking. But yeah, but if you have questions like this, where it's like very technical, I recommend you going to our Discord. And on Bueno's Discord, like, our developers are there, and they can answer those kinds of questions. And many times we have to do custom stuff for people who need really special stuff, and we just like help them with the project. So like stuff like this, we usually just like gather that information. As long as you create a support ticket, we got it. But yeah, it's just like, hey, those custom things, a developer will do a better job responding. And I'm sorry that I'm not the best one at responding those very technical questions, but our team is always there on Discord. Well, Monday to Friday, they're on Discord on normal hours. Is it possible to release a number of tokens at different dates? I mean, e.g., 1,000 monthly for a 5,000 collection. That is a good question. And there are different ways that you can do this, where like, maybe your token set is 5,000, but you set everything at a pre-sale, right? So first you set a limit of 1,000. So it's just a pre-sale. Let me share my screen real quickly so you can see it. Yeah. So let's go back to the contract. So what you do is, and this is just kind of a way to do this, but you have to create your art from the beginning. Your art has to be generated from day one of your mint. Like, it's not like you can just like keep creating new art and adding more art. Once you have the art, then you can create a contract. And once I have my geometric punks, I have my 5,000 of them, but I'm going to only release 1,000 of them first, right? So to do that, you go to your contract, and then Buena Gentila, for example, and here on your manage page, sorry, on pricing, you're going to set a supply of 1,000, for example. And since you can at any time change this, you can go first with 1,000. Once that is like, the first month, 1,000. A month later, you can come back, and actually, let me go back here to my contract where you would actually do that with a contract that has already been deployed. Let's say that here the supply on my, well, on my pre-sale, I already put at 2022, but and this is something that I will need to change. But here you can just like change it at any time, where it's like, instead of 1,000, you can just change it now to I'm going to change it to 2,000. It's just like I didn't make it changeable on the other one. You make it, change it to 2,000, and then later you change it to 3,000, and you go like that, and you keep changing it until you get to 5,000, and you just keep it on pre-sale. And since it's pre-sale, you have a control of the supply. Just don't go to public sale, because if you go to public sale, then the 5,000 will be available for everyone. So that is one way to do it that way. Or another way is just like, like having 5 different collections, but that's not. It looks like that's not what you wanted. You wanted one single collection, one single contract, and just releasing them by month. So that's one way that you could do it. But you need to, at least here in Bueno, you need to have the art before you do that. But if you have something that is like pretty special and you want some help, maybe we can help you. If go to our Discord, maybe set the case, and maybe we can see if there's something else that we can do for you, just to allow you to do that. But if you want it to be self serve, that is one way that you could do it. Just like a increasing the supply every month. It's possible to release a large number of tokens. Yeah. So that was a one question. How do we do in the polls? Have you bought an NFT? No, but I want to. That's a great question, and 59%. That means that hey, there's still an opportunity for a lot of people. Have you made an NFT? Only 17% have made an NFT. That's pretty cool. Like, hopefully this tool Bueno allows you to this 17% now becomes 50% of you that you have made an NFT, and you can create. Just use your art, like and just put it together and do a free mint. If you do a free mint, it's not going to cost you anything. So, like, I don't know, put it out there. Hey, I made an NFT. I made these 300 little tokens, and I don't know, they can be fun. So, yeah, I love the idea. Just like like seeing dribble art in the blockchain will be amazing. Do you have a crypto wallet? 76% of you said yes. So that means that the first step, which is usually the hardest, which is like getting a wallet, 76% you already got it. So that's pretty cool. 3% of you don't know what is a crypto wallet. There's If you go to or on a blog on Bueno, there's a lot of information about like, hey, what is a crypto wallet? How do you get one? How do you keep your wallet safe and all those kinds of things. So, like, if you're really a beginner, we have a lot of documents and tutorials about that stuff. So you can just go to bueno.art and just like, if you're really just starting, we have tutorials for that stuff too. Say, a lot of people have bought an NFT and made an NFT. Not a lot, but hopefully that changes. Yeah, so we are on Discord. We're always there. I'm always there. Where if you have questions or anything, usually on Discord, just like, hey, we're there, just like helping. And it's discord.gg. I'm going to put it here on the chat on public. Discord.gg bueno. Discord.gg/bueno. That's our Discord if you want to be there. And that's it. I don't know. I mean, I can go and do more stuff here, but I think I'm going to bore people. But if you want to get nerdy with other stuff on Figma or Photoshop, we can do another session, or I can answer questions here. I need to start singing and dancing while coding. Elvis, that's the way to go, man. Yeah.
Yeah, if anyone's got any more questions, pop them in the Q&A. I saw some questions in the chat, not in the Q&A. Or if anyone wants to come up onto stage with your microphone on and camera on like I'm doing now, raise your hand.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is amazing. Thank you, Pablo. Loved your energy.
Somebody asked like about burning, and I suppose like burning NFTs, and that's you can be like, what's going on, right? And I think I just like I didn't explain, right? And sometimes when you are in this thing, like you start like thinking that everybody knows everything, but no. So an NFT can be burnable, and that means that it's not tradable anymore. You cannot access it. You cannot sell it. You cannot trade it, and pretty much like kind of like disappears from the blockchain. But it's still there. There's still a record of it once in the blockchain, always in the blockchain. But at least it's now the supply of the collection, like someone explained, now goes down. So let's say that it's a supply of 500, and then 10 people burn their NFTs, and each one of them has five of them. That means that 50 NFTs will get burned. So now the supply of the whole collection is 450. That means that since the supply is a little bit smaller, each NFT that remains unburned, it's a little bit more rare because there's less of them. There's more scarcity. Scarcity usually drives the value of something up because it's more scarce, and maybe the demand for them is higher than the supply. So usually when that happens, that kind of I don't know, economic games that sometimes people do with NFTs. That makes the NFTs a little bit their value a little bit higher. Some people sometimes burn NFTs just as a way of protesting about something that the collection did or something. Or yes, it's a way to just like do something where they burn. A lot of people burn NFTs, and then that drives the value of the remaining NFTs up. It's a weird game mechanism that some people use on their NFTs, and also you can also do NFTs that once they're burned, then it gives you something else. So by burning it, then it mints a new thing. So a lot of projects do that kind of stuff where it's like, hey, give me that stuff, we burn it, and now you get a new one. So, for example, where you have a box, and you burn that NFT box or that NFT gift that it was just a gift, but it wasn't unboxed, and you burn that NFT, and then it gives you a new one, and magic happens. So that is one way also to using the burning mechanism on NFTs, which is pretty cool. What are you doing for Independence Day, Pablo? Yeah, today is Dia de la Independencia. Yesterday there was El Grito, the Independence Day in Mexico, and I think I'm just going to eat a lot of tacos, hopefully with my family. We're going to make tacos at home. Thank you for the question. Gracias, Pablo. See you around with crypto monsters. Monsters great. Uh, how do the templates work in Bueno? Okay, one question about templates. Templates allow you to create different separate layers in a way that are like work in different ways. So, for example, you could use templates to create different species in your collection. Let's say that you have the ones that are rabbits, or the ones that are foxes, the ones that are giraffes. And since they are different in shape, maybe their clothing is different too, right? And maybe the hat that they wear, the hat from the giraffe is a little bit higher, right? Right, because the giraffe is a little bit taller than the one from the fox. That is, the hat is here, and maybe they look different. So the templates allow you to just like customize what traits go with each one. So it could be for gender, it could be just like for anything. But we have seen people use it for types of genders, where it's like a specific clothing for specific gender. Hey, if you want to do that, well, go for it, right? But also for specific types of warriors. Whereas like the bigger warriors, so those have specific types of clothing and the specific combinations, and just like have a jetpack and a big gun on the back. And those are the big warriors. And then there's the mechas ones, and the mechas have different things. So those have different layers. So the templates allow you to just like customize how things are combined. Turn on the things that you want in one specific template, and off the things that you don't want, and so on. How do we use templates in Bueno? Okay, I think I answered that one. Q&A. What is IPFS? I also didn't explain that one. IPFS means Interplanetary File System, which sounds weird and not real, right? But the idea is just like files that are on the blockchain too. And they're distributed, well, blockchain in a decentralized way. So instead of putting files on Amazon, for example, they're like a centralized file system, centralized by Amazon. You do it with this IPFS, which is like it's decentralized and it's in a lot of different computers. And ideally, it never goes away and it's always there. So usually NFTs, it's well seen if the files of the NFTs are on IPFS, because that guarantees that it's always going to be there. That JPEG, PNG, GIF, whatever, is always going to be there. But it's pretty much just like a decentralized file system. The rarity is affected by the gender. If the giraffe has the same helmet as the elephant, will count as the same trait. Yes, we have a way to do that. But like the helmet might be in a different position, right? the helmet of the giraffe might be in a different position because, like as I was saying, it's a little bit taller, and maybe the one from so the giraffe is like this, right? But the maybe the uh, actually, you know what? I'm going to show an example. Can I show an example? An example of this happening, and I have it here on Creature Kind, and this is something that I'm experimenting with. On Creature Kind, I have different kinds of creatures, right? For example, if I go to Manage, you're going to see here that in the templates, I have three different types of creatures. I have fox, I have the rabbit, and I have the turtle. And if I go to the turtle, you're going to see that some of the layers are turned off. Why? Because I have specific types of heads. Like the rabbit head, I want to turn that off. I want to also turn off the fox hair because the fox hair is specific for the fox head too, and the snouts. Since this is a turtle, it doesn't have a snout, right? So if I go back to the one that is a rabbit, then this one, the rabbit, it does have a snout. So you can see it here that it does have the snout. It doesn't have the turtle head. The turtle head, you can see it. Let me just like rabbit head. You can see that I turned off the turtle head because it's a rabbit. I don't have the turtle mouth because it's different from the since from the snouts. It doesn't have the fox hair and so on. So all of them are present, and then I can make my template from by turning on and off the ones that I don't like. The ones since this is a rabbit, I'm only putting the rabbit head and also the snout. And just by those little changes makes a huge difference, right? And if I go to the attributes, you're going to see that also like I have specific attributes. I have the fox head, I have the rabbit head, and all of these I can also change them and say edit the attribute, and then this will be just head, and it's called rabbit. So now the type of head is going to be rabbit. So that way there's a new trait attribute that is called name, and then this one also edit the attribute, and it's called attribute name head. And this one is called fix. And anyway, you can just like go around and just like make the changes on your see now the head. There's multiple ones. We have the oops, sorry, edit attribute, and we have head, and let's say the changes. And now this one should be called different. This should fox head. And then this one should be, oops, sorry, this one should be called rabbit head. Rabbit head. You see? So now inside the head, I have these two attributes. But I usually don't, well, and now if you go to the templates, it it broke everything. Why? Because I combined those attributes. So that's actually not great. So I should have not done that. Edit attribute. I'm going to remove this. Just going to just like remove the attribute name alias. Anyway, that's how you usually do it. I should have not done that. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm so dumb. Yeah, I have. Oh yeah. So I have the fox. I removed the fox head by doing that. I made a huge mistake. I should have not done that because I started combining stuff. There was a reason why they were different. Why? Because you want them to be different, so you can layer them differently. Anyway, that's how you use templates. By just like, hey, putting them here. Just don't do what I did because it's a mistake. I can just like undo by just like uploading the assets again, and then it's all right. But I I feel so dumb because I made that. Uh, let me upload the assets. I think I can just choose the folder that I want. It's in humankind collections, collections and collections, and then here have creature kind collection. There you go. Bueno export. Yes. So bueno export. Let's upload that. And yes, upload. So there you go. Now I have the rabbit and the fox head as different ones. So I should go back to my templates. I uploaded those two components, and I can go to my templates, and hey, that's already turned on. Beautiful. So that's how you will usually use templates. This is one way to use them, but you can just like use them however you want. For example, something else that you can do with templates is if, for example, I want the turtles, the whole turtles, I love turtles. I want to be a little bit more rare. By default, they're always just all the way to the top. That way distributes them For example, here is calculating 33%, 32%, 32%. But if I want to make the turtle a little bit more rare, then it's now 20%, and these ones went to 40%, right? And if I went even lower, then it gets to 11% and makes these a little bit more common. So now if I go back and regenerate the whole thing, let's regenerate. If I go to my preview, the template of the turtle is going to be lower. So you see there's more foxes and more rabbits than turtles. So you can use templates that way. And look how cute they look. I've been experimenting with these and they look pretty fun, right? Something that I've been doing. And if you want to know more about this stuff, you should go to humankind.art too. Yeah, sorry. Now I'm chilling my project. What about building utility? Building utility. Well, that's something you have to do separately on your community. It's yeah, that's something. Utility usually is something that you do on your own to purchase a physical print. Yeah, it's something that you have to do by yourself, Carlos. It's Yeah, the utility depends on the project, what you're going to do with your community. If you want to token gate specific content, you can just use your contract token gate that, or you can just if you want to give a print, as you were saying, of specific things, and you have to do something where it's maybe use a Bueno form and only allow people to who have your token to subscribe, and then you can ask for their address so you can print them something, or you can just token gate I don't know, a Shopify page with your token, and then that way they can get the print, and it's token gated in Shopify. So that's something that utility is not usually just something that you do on the you have to do after, and you have to have a plan for that. Is the wallet with which I create my Bueno account necessarily the one that will hold the smart contract? Uh, it is the one that deploys it. So you can invite collaborators. I didn't say that, which maybe I can share my screen again. To any project, you can add collaborators. So you can go to settings and you can say, hey, add a member of your team. So for example, I have added multiple people who are members of my team, but you can just add a new member. And this member can be really another person, or it could be just you with a different wallet. It's just the different wallet that is your I don't know. It's not your personal wallet, but it's the project's wallet. It's the one that is going to be the fund, or the one that is going to be the deployer. So you can just paste that wallet, and if you have control over that wallet, then once you are going to deploy your contract, when you deploy it, just make sure that you're using that wallet when you deploy it. So you can just have multiple people, and whoever uh, from this wallet deploys a contract, then that person is going to be the owner of the contract. But still, even when you deploy the contract, you can say who gets the money. It doesn't have to be the person, the wallet that was there. You can just delete. For example, that's my wallet. I can delete it and I can put a new wallet. Maybe it's your fund's wallet. It's not my personal wallet. The ones that are going to actually get the primary sales. You can just do that. And whenever you're going to just do the testnet and deploy, just connect to the other wallet. Connect to the wallet, or tell that person who has the control of that wallet, hey, I already gave you access. Can you be the one who deploys the contract? Then they deploy the contract, and then it's going to be under that wallet. So yeah, that's a way. Hopefully that answers your question. You can add collaborators, go to settings, add people to your team. That can be yourself with a different wallet, and then deploy from that wallet. ¿Tienes algún referente que minten con letras, poemas, o no ilustraciones o diseños? That's really cool. So the question from Profe Pepe, he's saying or she, I don't know. They are saying, hey, what if it's just letters? We don't support text-based NFTs right now, but we do support just image-based NFTs that maybe are written, so maybe it's text, but we don't support text, and that's something that actually we want to start playing around with actually text, and maybe just select the font, you select the background color, select the color of the font, and that's it. We actually made an experimental project a long time ago where it combined, and it was the hero story. You want to show you about that? Hold on, let me see if I can. Don't share my screen yet, please. Hero, please. Once upon a time. That was a call. The name. Once upon a time. Uh, once upon a time. What? What NFT? Once upon a time. OpenSea. Yeah. So no, that's not it. Wow. Once upon a time, Paulo Stanley. We made an experiment. Okay. Yes, here it is. So I'm going. Like, you can show my screen now if you want to. I don't know if you're showing it. Yeah. So a long time ago, I made all of these. So I made a. Once upon a time, there was a adjective, a fearless robot who always dreamed of traveling the universe. Every day, the hero, the astronaut. Oh, sorry, the person. This and this will be linked. So if it was an samurai, then over here will be a samurai too. Samurai grew more and more frustrated with their boring life, but one day a blinding light appeared in the sky. Because of that, the samurai, whatever it was transferred to another dimension, and a robot machine started plotting to kill him until finally our hero courageously faced the corrupt Girl Scouts and save the planet, or and maintain a tormented life. Wow, that's and we call those Once Upon a Time, and yeah, that's an example of something that I made a long time ago, and you can see them in OpenSea. Again, it was an experiment. Wow, total volume of 16. I didn't know that they were for free. We didn't put any. Wow, we should have put some royalties. But you can see them here, where it's like a once upon a time, there was a fearless captain who had double life as an undercover detective. Every day, the captain went to parties to meet new people. So, yeah, it's just an experiment that we made. And hopefully, we get to do, I don't know, something where people can actually do that. And also, the description is down here. It was a cool project that we made. And we didn't put any metadata. The idea was just like, it's just a description, it's just a story, and it's the story of the hero's journey, right? And that's the template that I was using, and that's how I made it. Ideally, this is something that is a tool that allows you to do that stuff. But if you want to know how I did it, this is how I gather all the metadata. I just wrote all the different routine frustration. For example, every day the hero, the routine, the frustration, but one day the event of the hero, and because of that they had to make a decision. There was a consequence and another external consequence, until finally there was a climax, and then the objective of the enemy who was a supercomputer or a killer rabbit, and then there was a resolution, and that could be saving the planet, found inner peace, return home peacefully, or was finally free, regained their humanity at last. That's beautiful. Lost their humanity in the process, which is something that sometimes is a tragedy, right? The story you want to tell. So yeah, that's an example of something we made a long time ago. It's called Once Upon a Time. What is what? ¿Tienes algún referente que maintain letras? Okay. How do you get the assets from Figma to Bueno again? There's a plugin. So, oh, you know what? I should put a link. Oh, I think I put a link to the plugin. So there's a link to the plugin, and that plugin, you just use it and then exports a zip file, and decompress the zip file and just import the zip file, drag and drop, and that's it. Gradients are not supported yet. I actually don't know. I think when you export gradients from SVG, maybe that's what it is. And I don't know why they wouldn't be supported, but maybe that's what it is. Or maybe we don't do a great job. It's just SVGs. SVGs are so weird. But if you're doing it in PNG, yeah, there's no problem. It's just, but SVG gradients might be weird because Figma exports it one way, Sketch exports them a different way, and then the web interprets them in one specific way. So maybe that's what it is. I think that's it. Well, what do you think, Madeline? We got it?
I love it. You've got it. You look awesome. It's time for a celebration.
Okay. Well, let's keep dancing. Let's keep doing this. Thank you so much for hosting this, and thank you everyone who was here. You can see there are a lot of questions. Hopefully, I was able to answer some of these. Some of those questions are a little bit outside my abilities, so you can go to our Discord, and other people who are smarter than me can help with those. uh, Thank you. Bueno. Oh yeah, the trait. The wig is one of the traits.
That's your trait. Yeah, Bueno, the greatest tool for NFT creators. Woohoo. Thank you so much, Pablo. That was super informative. I hope loads of people here then go get to create their NFTs now and sell them.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, or just put them out there. Just experiment. Even just doing the preview and seeing all your tokens, like in all the different colors and all the different combinations. I don't know. It feels really good whenever I do that. At least for me, for a doodler like me. So I invite you to, it doesn't have to be characters. It doesn't have to be like portraits of like PFPs. No, you can just do random stuff. Just like put random stuff with brushes and just like doodles and squiggles and just mix them up and see what happens. I invite you to do this, or geometric shapes, and just like see what happens.
Yes. Jason says, thank you so much. And he's excited to jumpstart and get started. Can't wait to see what you guys create. That's going to be a super exciting journey. Thank you so much, Pablo. It's been an awesome 2 hours learning from you. Thank you, everyone who's given up 2 hours of their day to come on this glorious Friday and learn about NFTs with Bueno. I know Bueno is going to be following up with I think, link to the recording, and then also some links. You guys have got the Notion document that Pablo put together, which has got that Figma plugin. He's got other links from it. So make sure you bookmark that Notion doc. And hope to do this with you again soon, Pablo. It's been awesome.
Yeah, let's do another one with the microverse. Can I show you what the microverse is real quickly? So just a glimpse of what is going to come on the next one, because we are going to totally do that. Yeah?
Would love that. Microverse.
Hold on. So this is let me templates, and let's show you the kingdom. So can you see my screen?
I'm going to share it now.
I'm going to close all this stuff. Yeah. So, for example, here I connect my wallet, and once you have created your NFTs, well, what do you do with your NFTs? Are they just there, JPEGs there? No, you want to use them in a world. So, we created this tool that allows you to create your own world. So, this world that you're seeing here was created with Bueno. And the cool thing is that it is interactive. So, I mean, it is multiplayer. So if anyone goes here, you know what? I'm going to put in the chat. Anyone wants to come here, you're going to be, I think you're going to be allowed to come here. So anyone who connects their wallet, you should be able to come here. Now, the thing is this. If you are a builder, you can come here and just play. But as a builder, you can create games. So all of this stuff, for example, this even this like this tree, you can just like put, well, I'm going to put multiple trees here. I'm going to make this tree a little bit smaller. So it's pretty much just like an interactive game builder. If you are used to using Figma, hey, I see someone here. Hello, someone joined. And if you, and it has sounds for everything, for example. And if you come over here, for example, and we have collectibles too, like come over here and pick it up. Oh, I already have this. There you go. So that person, I'm pretty sure that hey, we have another person. GM. But the cool thing about this is that we're all here internally, and I can actually, they can see live me moving the fire around. So, can you see the fire? Uh, fire. Yes, they can see the fire. So this is a way to just create your own games, and you can just do this with assets that we have. We have asset kits, for example, for the medieval a kit with all that stuff. For example, let's say that I put a shield here. I don't know why, but let's say that we put a shield here. Then we have a shield, and we can make it gigantic. So now we have a shield, and we cannot allow people to move around. Oh no, I don't know what I moved here. So they cannot pass because the shield is not. Oh yeah, yeah. There you go. You can use assets that we created, but also you can just upload your own stuff. So, for example, let's say that I'm going to upload an image here, and this is just any image. So, let's say that I upload my geometric punk, and this, if it is a transparent PNG, it can just like upload transparency here. And so now we have a gigantic geometric punk here. And the cool thing here is that anything can be interactive. So, for example, this thing that I just added, let's say that this is a portal, or it has an effect for music, for fireworks, confetti, games, also abilities. So, for example, you can make dialogues, you can make things mountable and drivable. You can even make your own mint machine. So, if you have a collection that you want people to mint, and you only want them to mint through a mint machine that you made in your game, you can also do that. And let me show you, for example, this one that is an NPC. Oops, hold on. This one already has some dialogue, so I can go in here and just edit the dialogue. Hello, traveler. If you see me around, hop on and I'll take you back to the castle. Thank you, Mr. Horse. Uh, whatever, Mr. Horse. Whatever, dude. So I don't know why, but you're like, whatever, dude. And let's say that it's not. This also just allows you to do to the next block, and then the the horse is like rude. Yes, yes, I am. Yes, I am. And those are the questions that you have. And now, if you go and talk to the little horse, and if you say something like, "Hey, little traveler, see me around. Thank you, Mr. Horse." Whatever, dude. Rude. Yes, I am. So anyway, we are just like building this tool so people can make their own worlds. Once you have your NFTs, you can also create your own world with your NFTs. That's the whole idea of this, and they can create their own games and their own things. So the NFTs are not just JPEGs. Like somebody asked about utility. Well, that can be one of the utility that only certain people can get access to specific things, or parts of the inventory, or like get to play stuff. For example, here now people will be able to have levels and experience points, and collect different items. For example, this one, I'm going to say that I'm going to destroy it, and I'm going to go back here, and now I can collect it. This could be an NFT too. So now I go here, I collected it, and it appears in my inventory again. It is there. So anyway, just maybe another time I can show you more about the microverse. And the microverse is just a design tool that allows you to do a lot of stuff with your NFTs.
That is so cool. Looking forward to learning more in the next workshop. I've never seen anything like it. Congrats.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah. Well, I'll see you around. Thank you, Dribble. Thank you, designers, artists, makers, everyone who joined us, and thank you, Madeline.
Yeah, thank you, Pablo. Have a good weekend, everyone. We'll follow up with a recording and any links you need. See you soon.